fastest man alive. He is not.
Up is down, black is white. Do not get distracted by anything you see along the way.
What are we gonna see? It's a reverse flash. He's back.
It's so much more fun to be bad.
It's pretty messed up.
Yeah, this is ground zero for pretty messed up.
It's the post-Christmas version of the Hava-Geek-Cast. My name is Mike. I've got Drake Finney on the other end of the internet. And this week, Drake got something cool for Christmas under the tree. He's going to tell us all about that. We're going to touch base with some SuperGirl. The TV show, about 3 weeks ago, dropped a major spoiler bomb. And I've been sitting on it because, can't spoil people. That's just mean. But we're going to talk about it today, and it's huge. Critical Role returns soon. Have you seen or heard about it? Well, we're going to tell you more about it. Where is the Rey toy from Star Wars? Well, we'll find out if we can figure that out. Flash just received its teaser promo for the upcoming half of the season. And as predicted, secrets come with a price. Disney makes freaking bank. And you know where it's all coming from. This is the Hava-Geek-Cast. Drake, how are you, buddy?
I am great. It has been a wonderful Christmas, and I got to tell you, Santa was so generous to me, but generous all around. It's been a wonderful, beautiful 2016 is ready to start, and I'm ready for it.
So the Renaissance Fair, when is that happening? It's just a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, the Renaissance Fair that's actually being thrown by the Lions Club as well as ASU Havasu is going to be January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd under the bridge in that area.
Nice.
And they're going to be, fun festivities. It keeps growing as it keeps going. There's going to be jousting, I hear. There's going to be performers. There's even going to be a Troll Under the Bridge Tavern, games, cool. Different activities, hair braiding. So for the first one out, it's grown quite a bit in what they plan on it being.
Nice. So when does that kick off?
January 1st, right off the gate.
And just the one weekend?
One weekend, January 1st, 10 a.m., and goes till 8 p.m. every night. And it's just January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So testing the waters, but they've really gotten some really neat stuff that's showing up.
Very cool. We'll have to get in there and do some firsthand reporting from that.
Exactly. And if you want to get tickets, they're still available. You just go to www.londonbridgerenfair.com, or you can find it on their Facebook site, London Bridge Renaissance Fair. Just type that into the search bar. It'll bring you right up to it. And you'll have a great time, and it looks like it's going to be a really fun event.
Nice. So, when Disney bought Star Wars, would you say that's was a pretty good purchase?
Disney, to have the vision that they did when they bought Star Wars, and everyone kind of at first was griping and groaning and moaning and complaining, Everyone drew the goofy Darth Vader and the Mickey Mouse Jedi and how awful and terrible it was going to be. I don't know. When you're hitting $1 billion in the box office, do you think you got it right? I'm sorry. The chuckle's right there. They're laughing all the way to the bank. That's just, they knew it. They had the vision. They had the right chemistry, the right people. You couldn't have done better, especially at Christmas time.
In my head, Dr. Evil is going, $1 billion. So I'm comparing Disney to a fictional evil overlord.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I will bow to the mouse. I mean, if you look at the overall spectrum of what Disney has acquired over the past few years, they acquired Marvel. Everyone cried and moaned about it. Mm-hmm. They acquired Disney acquired Star Wars. They got back in good with Pixar because they were on the outs for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And everyone was sitting there going, okay, it's going to be cartoony, campy. They kind of pitch it almost, I'd say almost reminiscent of the 80s form of Disney.
Right.
Well, when you have 3 of the top 4 grossing movies for the year under your banner, that, of course, being Pixar's Inside Out, Avengers Age of Ultron, and Star Wars, you're doing something right.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And from now all the way up to, 2020, it's going to be all about Star Wars and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Movie after movie after really good movie. We can just count on it.
What I like is you have Star Wars its own universe, Marvel its own universe. I look at it, though, because I had someone actually asked me if I was worried about kind of like what happened to the WWE there for a while, where there was no competition and things kind of got watered down.
Yeah,
I don't look at it with these movies because bottom lines are still bottom lines. Marvel still has to make money. Star Wars franchise still has to make money. Even though they're under Disney's banner, they've got to perform for the big boss. They're still going to be churning out the best that they can.
Yeah, and the thing that works out for us is both of these particular universes have so many good stories to tell.
In 3 years, we get Han Solo, a little, single, one-shot movie out there, and they're talking about doing kind of like what Fox tried to do with Wolverine Origins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sounds like Disney's gotten the idea, and they're going to start showing one-shots of these movies, and I'm fine with that.
Oh, totally.
I'm great because there's so much universe to dive into.
Absolutely. I want to see the Boba Fett movie.
Yes.
I want to, and of course I want to see the Han Solo movie. So a lot to look forward to. Swing over to our Facebook page because we're going to post a graphic before the day's out today. Although Drake may have already put this up. It's been out for a few days. But it's an infographic laying out the timeline for all of the Star Wars movies that have currently been signed and when we can expect to see them. Same with the Marvel movies. So if you want a quick reference to that, just hit up Facebook/Hava-Geek-Cast. And you'll see that information there. You may have to scroll down a little bit.
No, we can repost it again because I'm kind of looking for it right now on my screen, and I think I shared it with you and then didn't bother to post it. So
okay.
I'm docking myself hate for that one.
Very good. So that'll give us an excuse to repost it. In either case, it's pretty interesting, those timelines and how they have them laid out and what we can look forward to see in the particular order that we're going to see it. It all means things. It's really interesting. Moving right along. The Flash, one of our shows, has just released a teaser promo for the second half of the current season. And it's addressing the only thing that's been bothering me about The Flash for this season. I've been eating it up, loving it to death. But how do I put this? The keeping of secrets, both within The Flash and Arrow, it's gotten old.
Right.
I really got tired of it with Iris. They kept that secret from her way longer than they should have. It made the character look a little silly. How did everybody else learn? And she was kept in the dark.
Exactly.
But once they finally told her the secret, that's when her character stepped up and out, and you really learned who Iris was, and you got to love her. Now, with Patty, it's not the same thing. I'm not trying to draw a direct parallel there, but I'm getting tired of the keeping of the Flash secret from her so much quicker than with Iris because of what went on with Iris. So I guess either this next episode coming back in January or within the first two of those, Barry will decide to tell her the secret. And we know that because it's right there in the promo. No spoiler necessary.
Right. Well, and we do have the promo up on Hava-Geek-Cast on the Facebook side. But what I do like, what I did like, and I went back and I kind of binge watched a little bit of Flash and Arrow just to kind of cement it as we go into the second part of the season. And really watching Patty more carefully, especially with her issues with Weather Wizard. There is a dark side to her.
Oh, totally. And that last episode really brought that to the fore. Right, when she was standing over him.
Yeah, I almost wish they'd given us that first to where we could have an understanding of, why Barry might be hesitant on telling her.
Okay.
Because being almost anti-metahuman, I liked it. I liked how it worked. So,
well, I got to disagree just a little bit. I never got, I didn't get a direct anti-metahuman vibe off of her. And what I mean by that is metahumans in general. The metahuman criminal, I think, is what she, being a cop and being what happened to her. I think focusing on the criminal element and no love for and the need to take it out. And that's why she was so eager to get on the task force. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she'll have an issue with Flash simply because he's a metahuman. I think it'll be more along the lines of the standard, how could you?
Well, and that's where I look at, though, because for me, after watching it the second time, her metahuman fascination reminded me of Glenn Close from Fatal Attraction. That's where I'm thinking this second part of the series, we might have... I don't know. I don't know where we're going to go with it, but like I said, all of a sudden I was reminiscent going, I don't know if I would be telling her. So.
We'll find out within a few episodes. One of the key moments in the promo is Zoom has got his hand around her throat, hanging her in the air.
I am expecting,
And,
though, just like what we saw in Jessica Jones, where Kilgrave had the room full of posters of Jessica, I'm looking for her to have a room full of posters of the Flash.
Ooh, okay. Interesting point of view. I didn't see any of that.
I could be totally wrong, but as
well, it makes for
watch enough shows during the holidays.
Makes for you know what? That could be Earth 2, Patty Spivot, because everybody's got doppelgangers.
You just want Barry to have a good romance. You don't want him to Cisco his whole life away.
Well, to be honest with you, the thing or person / character that I'm most eager because Killer Frost.
Yes.
It'll be the Earth 2 version of the character, but we will see Caitlin as Killer Frost. And oh yes, please, thank you.
Well, and here's my question.
Yeah.
Okay, again, binge watching, playing with my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Garrick, of course, from Earth 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the little kiss they had under the mistletoe, on Earth 1 with him and Caitlin. If Killer Frost is a known villain from Earth 2, he's got to know.
Yeah, he's keeping it from Caitlin. More secrets.
There's going to be something there, because they wouldn't have that connection and not exploit it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's there's a lot to look forward to in the upcoming season of The Flash. And speaking of the DC television universe, let's jump over to Supergirl, because there's stuff going on there that we didn't talk about when it happened, because huge spoiler. Big spoiler. And I'm a firm believer in let a couple weeks go by before you talk about the big, huge, massive plot points like that. And if you were a longtime Superman fan, I'm talking, if you've been reading Superman, at least from the Death of Superman comic onward, there was a character in the Supergirl show whose name you recognized. And that's the director of the super secret organization that Supergirl's stepsister and now herself work for, the character of Hank Henshaw. Now, we've been watching this guy. He seemed a little bit sinister, glowy evil eyes, the occasional statement that can be taken one way or it could be taken another way. The music as he walks down a hall, dun dun dun.
The subtle hints.
Yeah, the subtle things that you'd miss if you weren't paying attention. All of this setting up for a twist in Supergirl. And the interesting thing about it is, if you're not up on Superman lore, not even Supergirl, Superman lore, all the old history. If you haven't been reading those comics since you were a kid, there's no significance to the name Hank Henshaw, and all you know is what you see on the screen. Okay, there's something screwy going on with that guy, let's pay attention to him.
Right.
Now, if you've been reading Superman since you were a kid, especially going all the way back to the Death of Superman comics, you know the name Hank Henshaw. That was the name used by one of the major bad guys that sort of came out of the Death of Superman deal. He's otherwise known as the Cyborg Superman. And before, I think maybe 2 reboots ago in the DC universe, he was kind of a badass. So, we're still kind of waiting for him to pop up in the comic books after this latest reboot, but the name has popped up more than once, so I'm sure we'll see him. But as far as Supergirl goes, the Hank Henshaw name was just a big red herring for anybody my age or slightly younger reading Superman. So since the very pilot episode of Supergirl, I've been waiting for the Cyborg Superman and wondering how they were going to pull that off. Except for 2 episodes before the hiatus, when we found out exactly who Hank Henshaw is. And I stood there when he transformed into the Martian Manhunter. I just went, yes! I love being caught off guard. If a TV show can catch me off guard, it has my love for at least the rest of the season, no matter what it does.
Now remind me, though, because I watched that scene, and like I said, I haven't binge watched it like I did the other ones. I caught it here and there. Did they completely write off the actual Hank Henshaw at all? Because I remember them saying he was a good man and something happened to him.
Yeah.
And Martian Manhunter took his place.
Right. We've been told that Hank Henshaw died on a deep space mission, and the Martian Manhunter came back in his place.
So in other words, we don't have a body.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. And that means the Cyborg Superman plot is still out there to be played with to one degree or another, but the involvement in the Martian Manhunter in the Cyborg Superman plotline in the comic books, they were 2 entirely separate things. The Martian Manhunter was never in there. So, and I've read read an article or two, actually an interview with Greg Berlanti. I think that's how you pronounce it. Producer, director, the guy who created the Supergirl TV show, who we know from Arrow and Flash. His intention when he put Hank Henshaw in as a character was to incorporate that cyborg Superman thing. But somebody put the Martian Manhunter bug in his ear. And the way he put it, once that got in and once the wheels started turning, it wasn't going to go any other way. So I don't want that secret organization to turn out to be a bad guy. That's been done so much.
Yes.
You know, so just that switch, that little change up right there changed a lot of Supergirl for me and made me look forward to the rest of this season so much more.
Yeah, I think they're on the right path. I know a lot of people have talked about how it took Arrow forever to get started, and it took the Flash a full season to, really drag you into it, but eventually it did, and everyone's talking about how Supergirl just has hit the ground running. But like you said, DC TV has learned every step they've taken.
Yep.
They've looked at what worked, what didn't, they applied it to the next one.
And it's paying off in spades because, everything that was great about the Arrow went into the Flash to make it good right out of the gate. And everything they learned, like you just said, everything we learned on Flash and Arrow was applied to Supergirl. And all of that is going to get dumped into Legends of Tomorrow. So,
well, and I don't think if you had rolled Supergirl out first, I don't think you would have built up a TV universe that would have been so believable and you would have bought into it. Because if you look at the way they did it with the Arrow, which was just a guy specially trained, some skill. They slowly worked in the supernatural. They slowly worked in enhancement, via either, drug or some other way. Then they worked in metahumans as Barry and the Flash were coming around. Now we're the supernatural aspect, and we're getting into what really Supergirl is a mega hero, so she's got to have some major vulnerability. And I think if you had started with her first and then brought the Arrow, mind you, as great of a cast as it is, that has turned into such an awesome unit, it would have flopped because it would have been one of, well, these guys can get trashed by anybody.
Yeah. It's the thing I love most of all about all of this is the guys, they had it right out of the gate in a big way and willing to make adjustments along the way, but staying true to the main vision, which is just simply to bring us good stories about good characters. And the superhero aspect of all of it, they've just been experimenting as they go along. And Berlanti would be the first to tell you, and I've read this in a couple of interviews, when they started incorporating the more fantastic elements into Arrow in that second season, they were as surprised as anybody else about how well it worked. And that's what brought forth what we love about The Flash and what we're going to love about, continuing to love about Supergirl and going to love about Legends. Berlanti is pitching a second superhero movie to the Supergirl people anyway. You know what I mean? He's telling, what is it, CBS? Where's Supergirl? CBS? Okay, he's telling CBS, you see everything that's happening over with Flash and Arrow? Give me one more show, and I'll make that money for you. And that means we're going to get another cool superhero show. So it's all a matter of time.
Well, the thing I don't like, though, about what CBS is doing, CBS is forcing people that if they can't watch it when it premieres on TV or if you DVR it, you have to go to CBS.com to watch it. That's why I got behind, because I didn't realize it had kicked off after that first episode. It skipped my mind to watch it until it was 4 behind, and I'm looking on Hulu and I'm watching Netflix going, okay, it's going to spring up here somewhere. But CBS is being stingy and isn't putting it out on those viewers right now. You've got to go to CBS.com, which it shows great. They put it in high def. They do it justice. But my thing is no, throw it together. So.
Well, I'm with you on that, but the thing I got to tell you is get used to this, because what they're doing with Supergirl is going to be the future for a little while. And a good example of that, and I think this is CBS also. No, I could be wrong about it. It doesn't matter. The new Star Trek show, you've heard about that, right?
Uh-huh. Oh, yes.
There's been no news about it except for one tiny little piece of news. It will debut. The pilot episode will debut on the network, and then every episode from that point on will only be available online from that network. You'll have to sign up and subscribe to that network's on-demand service in order to watch the new Star Trek. There's a lot of people not happy about it, but that's the new financial model for shows. So, they're using SuperGirl to drive people to that service. With this other network, be it CBS or whomever it is using the premiere of the new Star Trek to drive it to their service. So we're going to see that happen a whole lot. And really, it's nothing more than what Netflix and Amazon are doing with the Netflix and the Marvel shows, and Amazon with shows like Powers, and they've got one other kind of sci-fi property that, so the day is going to come and we'll have to get everything on demand online.
Well, and we knew this day was coming because cable companies just pushed it that direction to where, I didn't want to pay for 7 home shopping networks because I never watched it.
Exactly.
And that's why I picked up the WWE network easily also, because that's all I was pretty much watching was superheroes and, wrestling. All of a sudden, hey, there it is on Hulu and Netflix.
And
I said goodbye to my cable bill.
It's totally possible to do that. I cut that cable cord 2 years ago. It's strictly for financial reasons. I needed to save some money. And I was quickly surprised at how available most of my shows are streaming on the internet. And if you're not too, I'm not endorsing anything, but if you're not too locked down on legalities, everything is available in one form or another. So that's all we'll say about that, because, kids don't pirate.
Exactly, but I definitely know that somewhere there's some corporate guy who was thinking of backing us going, oh, cut cable, never mind.
Sure. Because I happen to know there are certain people who got a hold of the SuperGirl pilot long before it ever aired on TV. Although I suspect the network leaked it on purpose for promotional reasons.
From the graphics I saw of it, that was too clean.
Yeah.
That was too...
It was a fully produced episode with nothing left to be done to it, ready to go almost 8 months in advance. So,
that's the feel I got on it too.
And they're doing that more and more. They just kick out that first pilot. Oh no, it leaked. Don't download it, everybody. So, all right, moving.
Yeah. Or they make up excuses like Fox does and says, "Oh no, we leaked that," and it's that bad. I'm still bitter about Apocalypse.
Sure. Well, there's a difference between a genuine leak and a carefully planned leak. And the Apocalypse situation, nobody wanted that picture to get out, man. Trust me.
I'm crying over here about it, man. It hurts.
Hey, let's jump back to Star Wars for just 1 second, because this is a topic kind of near and dear to your heart, and a big hot button issue with a lot of the fantasy sci-fi, and especially the superhero movies. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Drake.
All right. Well, then what this is Christmas just came. And I have daughters that are, of course, geeks and got into the Star Wars, and they enjoy the Avengers. But the problem is being females, and now all of a sudden seeing these strong female characters out there, there's not much for action figures. There's not much for merchandise. I mean, I know there is, Star Wars has started to release more. But right out of the gate, all of a sudden there was this hashtag across Twitter of, hey, where's Rey? And that was the big question. Here you've got this lead that is, in every poster, promo, package, whatever, literally standing in the forefront with the 2 other actors, but you can't find her anywhere, on the, in dolls and figures. And the question was why? And the same thing with Black Widow and Gamora. It's okay, just because you're a Disney princess, it doesn't mean, because that's the thing, you can find 1,000 Frozen dolls everywhere. Anna true. And the other one's name, I can't even think of her right now. The Ice Queen. Drawing a blank on it. My girls will yell at me later about it.
Don't even ask me, man.
Elsa. There it is.
There you go.
So, yeah. They were all over the place. Finn was all over the place. Everyone's there. Kylo Ren everywhere. Really pushing him to be the next Darth Vader, but tons of merchandise for him. But no Rey. And I had my daughter ask that. Why didn't I get anything with Rey on it? I really liked Rey. It wasn't there. The only thing I could find was the Disney 3.0, their Infinity Toy Box thing that goes with the consoles.
Right.
That was the only Rey I could find that would be a playable character or anything in general. So.
Now, it's still kind of early in that game. These particular protests have only come up in the last week or so. So I wonder how Disney's going to handle this, because like you've said, they've seen the entire uproar before, twice before. Black Widow for the Avengers and Gamora for Guardians.
Well, and that was one of the things that my mother had gotten the girls Star Wars shirts. And this was, it was throwbacks. They were all back to the New Hope. Leia, they're not a problem. She was there. She's prevalent. But everything that we saw that was of the new one was, no Rey. In fact, I even got sent one memo from my cousin that actually had the picture of some of the figures. And let me see if I can scroll down to it here real quick. It's got Kylo Ren, it's got Finn, it's got Stormtroopers, not Captain Phasm, mind you,
right.
not her either. It's got all the gentleman heroes, and it's crickets. Actually there it is right there. It goes left to right, goes Finn, Chewbacca, Poe, Kylo Ren, a Stormtrooper with just the red arm pad signifying he's a high-ranking official, and then the TIE fighter pilot. And it's like, really? I'm thinking you could easily scrap the Stormtrooper or the TIE fighter pilot and throw her in there.
Yeah. I wonder if there's maybe a second wave of characters or figures coming out, or man, even in the cynical world we live in these days, I can see a marketing decision being made saying, ooh, remember all that uproar and the free, marketing we got because they complained that they couldn't find any Black Widow or Gamora? Let's artificially generate a little bit of that and then dump a bunch of figurines into everybody's hands. Make them happy again after they yell. I don't know.
And that could be because there is some stuff that has rolled out, the little die-cast figures. But my head scratch is, why would you not, if you released on the 18th, what a go-to present at Christmas for the female fan.
Yeah, because it's no secret that there are more female fans of sci-fi and comics than ever before. In fantasy, too. The women have taken over cosplay.
Yes, they have.
Go to any sci-fi convention and not only are they out there, they're being treated well. They're not being treated like objects, like, say, maybe 5 years ago, when the only women that you saw at a sci-fi convention were booth babes.
Exactly. Yeah, those days are gone. So, but even to show how much Rey's impact's having is because Rey does fight technically with a bow staff. They're even talking about bow jujitsu is going to be the new fitness craze.
Okay.
which people are starting to work out, and because she was using that staff in parts of the movie for combat that you see her running with, so it's not a spoiler that she has it. But they're sitting there right now saying, is it the next fitness craze? 5 ab sculpting, workout from Star Wars, the stunt double that was using the staff. This is where I'm just scratching my head going, Disney needs to stop. It needs to stop thinking the heroes are always going to be guys. The damsel of distress is always going to be the girls. And, the girls, they've done it in the movies. They've got strong female movies. But let that then carry to the merchandise.
Yeah, well, I think there's going to be a shift on that. The outcry is strong enough at this point of the game where if this neglect is genuine, it'll be the last time it happens.
It better be, because I know, like in Avengers, when the Black Widow just dismantles the Russian mafia that's holding her.
Oh, sure. Her scene is one of my favorite scenes in that movie.
Yeah, my girls were cheering for
that. Yeah.
And, but yet, you go down the toy aisle, or they go over to a friend's house that has figures, nothing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I hopefully we'll see some change in that. Let's get into another piece of business. Critical Role. What is that? Tell me what that's all about.
All right, Critical Role. It is amazing. It's on Geek and Sundry's website. It shows every Thursday. They took a long hiatus because, of course, Christmas was that Friday, and they knew they'd have to travel. They were not going to compete with the Star Wars opening, also because most of them wanted to be there. But it is a group of voice actors that many people know, like Matthew Mercer, Liam O'Brien. I'm drawing a blank on him, and I watch the show religiously almost. Marissa Ray. All of them got together years ago and started playing the D&D's version of Pathfinder in Matthew's house. It got so much of a little following that Geek and Sundry said, here, why don't we try to put it and stream it and see if the fans take to it. Well, 20 episodes later, this has just turned into just an amazing thing just to watch. They usually have 14 to 15, actually I should say 14 to 20,000 viewers when it's streaming live. And a lot of reasons people are enjoying these voice actors so much is just not only the talent they bring to their characters, because they're voice actors and they can get into the role, but these are the voice actors that you've seen in Fallout, that you in Star Wars Battlefront, the game that just released. Matthew and Marissa are most of the Stormtrooper voices yelling at you. So it's people that you're playing the games and these voices that are familiar. These are the actors, but they do it in such a style that it's not putting on a show. They're actually still playing their game. You could easily teleport them to the old apartment, and it's still the same feel. It's still the same fun, and thousands of amounts of fan art that have come out. And it usually airs in our time, about 7 o'clock, with the time change, of course, in California, in Arizona. And so 7 o'clock on Thursday nights, you can go back, you can see some of the old episodes that they have, but it literally is just a 3, sometimes 4-hour tabletop game done in the old style.
Nice.
So, and actually one of the young ladies is actually on the show Blind Spot. And of late, they've been pumping her in via Skype to continue playing.
Cool.
Because everyone's missed her so much.
Right.
So, which of course she's in New York, so when they're doing it at 7 o'clock and going 7 to almost midnight in California, she's getting ready for her next show on Blind Spot.
That's one of many cool things about the internet is the fact that you can connect with friends to play D&D even though you're not in their presence anymore. Matter of fact, a lot of people are playing D&D on Twitch.
Yes.
And that's a super cool thing. I've got some old Air Force buddies of mine that if they could just pick another day to play their game, I could sit in with them. But, speaking of Geek and Sundry, if anything that Drake just said sounds attractive to you, then definitely listen to Critical Role, watch Critical Role. But there's a show up there that it's only got one season, one game, start to finish. But Will Wheaton and his tabletop show did a variation where they played an entire game of D&D start to finish over a series of episodes, kind of a mini-series thing, and it's pretty great. For all the reasons that Drake just described for Critical Role. So if you're like when I was a kid, I played D&D, but I played it more to be there and enjoy the other guys playing the game.
Right.
And this is kind of that. Only you don't have to play; you can just kick back and watch.
Yeah, and that's exactly the way it is with Critical Role.
Yeah.
But that's what's fun about Critical Role also is this is the group that started playing together. Yes, they're all famous. Yes, they're famous in I enjoy voice actors because of my background and any voice talents. But
Drake, you need to get closer to the mic, man. You're just getting softer and softer.
Sorry, I sat back a little bit. So, to really see, a group of friends that is this talented, that has this much fun with it, that really is what makes it fun and makes, I enjoy it on Thursday nights. We've joked about doing a viewing party on Thursday nights here at the house, cool. Where we'll have people over, we'll get some pizza, and we'll just enjoy watching them play. I'm still kind of hesitant on that because, of course, I'm supposed to be starting a game on Wednesday nights at the house, and I'd hate to run my campaign and then have him follow me up and go, wow, and just have people look at me and go, why can't you get that good? So.
Nice. Speaking of games, now you got something you were looking forward to under the tree this year, didn't you?
Yes, I did. We talked in the first few episodes about Secret Wars, the legendary Marvel Heroes card game expansion, Part 2 being released. And sure enough, there it was, all for me, ready to be, unwrapped, unboxed. And I got to tell you, out of all the expansions that they've done, and this is their 4th or 5th one, I was beginning to see patterns, and I was beginning to go, okay, yeah, I know exactly where we're going to go. We're going to roll out with this. This one actually surprised me because a lot of it really, I almost want to say, where I began to figure out the game and it began to be easy to win. This one now has scenarios and villains and twists and turns that I'm now looking at it going, wow, this is actually going to be tough again, which is nice because in the beginning we struggled on some things, but we could figure out after a while who the best situation was. Now there's twists that just hit you out of the blue. So.
Well, very cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like a game we're gonna have to touch base on periodically as you get into it and play it a few times.
We're going to have to do that, and I'm going to post some. I took some pictures and sent them over to the professor because he's in, he's somewhere back east right now, drawing a blank on it. And I didn't think about it when I was doing it at 11 o'clock at night, and he finally said, can I go to bed?
Now, see, I thought he was on an uncharted island in the Pacific, man.
Yeah, no, he went the other direction.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good.
But no, I'm going to post some pictures up there of the ones that caught my eye a little bit and the little twists and turns. But it's one that, eventually he said when he returns, we're going to set a camera up and we're actually going to film a couple of the game sessions we have, and we'll maybe get them posted up. And,
nice. Maybe I can get down there and play with you guys.
That's what you're going to have to do. But I also wouldn't mind seeing some of our listeners and viewers, give us some suggestions, some twists. Maybe they want us to try a certain hero, or they want us to try a certain villain, or
cool.
Just want to make me cry. So
speaking of which, have we managed to set up a like an email or a point of contact? Do we have anything like that yet?
Not yet. That's actually going to roll out in 2016, but we do now have a Twitter account.
Okay.
So, and that, of course, if I pull that up here real quick, that
Good.
is, of course, on Twitter. It's at Hava-Geek-Cast, and it's that simple. So.
Very cool. Join that. Pretty much anything we post on Facebook, we'll link to Twitter also, so that'll just be another way that you can see those notifications. We're about to announce a big thing, but when you want to know when we do the thing that we do during the big thing we're about to announce, Twitter will be a good way to get those notifications so that you can join us to record live. Starting next week. Next week, we're going to be broadcasting the show live on Blog Talk Radio. Go and check it out. It's one of the newer. Well, it's been out for a few years, so the word new being flexible. But the bottom line, it's picking up a lot of notice, and we're going to move the podcast over there so that we can get onto iTunes and make it a lot easier for you, the Hava-Geek-Cast listening audience, to get the shows automatically without having to search them out on Facebook and then being redirected somewhere else. So definitely.
And that is going to be nice for our listeners, because I just also clicked over on. I have every computer fired up right now. I've been taking
like you do.
Lazy Sunday. I actually have someone who, what should we refer to him as? Well, we'll just call him Matt, because that's his name.
Sure.
Matt actually is sitting there on WoW, sending me messages going, "Are you up yet? Are you live? Have you done the show yet? Have you? Because I had to chase him down for about 2 hours today to sign a charter for the new guild.
Right.
But yeah, then he's like, can I hear it? Can I hear it? Can I hear it? And I'm sitting there just watching these notifications going, okay, you made me chase you for 2 hours this morning to get you to sign the paper. You can wait for the show this week.
Well, as it stands, all the way up to and including this show, I've been getting it turned around the next day, but it's more than likely been like a 4-day turnaround, and that's just no good. We need to get the show produced and out a lot sooner, and Blog Talk Radio is going to help us do that. Not only that, but if you join us for the live show, we're going to have a chat room open and working. We'll set up moderators. We'll get some regular folks in there listening and be there every week as contributors. Everything is about growing the podcast and being able to provide a service to our listeners. Well, A, talk about stuff we love, but B, talk about stuff you love. And this will be one of many ways that you can get in touch with Drake and myself to tell us what you want us to look into for you. Or if you've heard something interesting that you want to know more about, just say, hey guys, what about this thing happening over here? Because we're not everywhere on the internet, and I'm sure there's a lot that we miss. So you can help us with content for the show each week. Just get in touch and let us know. And as we get our email address out there and other ways for you to reach us, we'll definitely let you know about all of that. Drake, we're running late, buddy. We need to get out of here.
Oh, yeah, I just looked at the time. I've got another date to see Star Wars.
So say the thing.
I will say the thing. All right, Mike, you have a geek week.